Hey there, Kate Phillips here. Welcome back to the Total Wealth Show. And today's question is, how much money do you need to retire? I'm going to answer this in maybe an unusual way. I'm going to give you some different figures and explain why they're so different. And I'm also going to answer why this is ultimately the wrong question. Could be the wrong question. So, how much do you need to retire? CNBC is going to tell you that at age 65, you should have 10 times what your annual income. So let's say that you want to have $60,000 a year, and your number maybe it's way bigger than that. Maybe it's smaller. Maybe there's other money coming in from other places. But I just chose that randomly to work the math. And so 60,000 a year, 5,000 a month, 10 times that, of course, is going to be $600,000. That's a lot more, about 6 times more than the average person, the median American, saves. So that might look like a pretty big number, or maybe it doesn't. Totally depend on your circumstance. However, there's a lot of people that will say, oh no, that's not nearly enough. There's a formula. It's the Monte Carlo simulation is how it came about, was running a lot of different simulations with the stock market and inflation, and how much can you afford to draw down and never run out of money, or hopefully, chances are, never run out of money. And assuming also, I think the Monte Carlo simulations are going to assume a 3% inflation. You might notice that's a little lower than what we have right now. But this formula says you need 25 times your desired current income. And I say current income because with inflation, that will go up. I hear this number quoted a lot by people in the FIRE community. That stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And of course, you need more money the earlier you think you want to retire or stop working. And 25 times, now we're looking at 1.5 million. Oh my gosh, that's kind of a lot of money, isn't it? Yeah. So, but lately, the economists, the financial planners, they're saying 4% is not enough, not with inflation the way it is now, not with the stock market volatility. So some of them are saying 3% or 2.5% or 2%. So at 3%, drawing down 3% per year starting now, you would have to have $2 million. At 2%, you would need 50 times your annual income, which would equal $3 million. That's kidding. Oh, yeah. Not a lot of people save $3 million. And you would think if you had $3 million, like you would be able to spend more than $60,000 a year, right? Like that seems like a low number. But again, these are numbers coming from the financial services industry based on math, based on projections that may be true and may be accurate. But they're leaving out a big thing. They're leaving out, I just filmed another video, it might be before or after this one, about the 7 levers. What are the 7 levers that you can use and adjust to close the gap between where you are and where you want to be to live a lifestyle of freedom and flexibility and not have to go commute to a job that you don't love? And there's a lot of different levers, a lot of different things that you can adjust besides your net worth. And I would suggest that asking how much net worth you need to retire may be the wrong question, because it's not ultimately the net worth that supports you, it is your cash flow. And there's so many different things that go into the cash flow. It's really misleading to only look at net worth. And yet, why is it this way? It is because the financial services industry comes from a place where they're just going to talk about what it is that they help you do, and they help people invest money. Whether they help them do it better or worse, it could be debatable depending on who it is that you're talking with. I have great respect for people in the financial services, financial planners, advisors, insurance professionals. I have great respect for people who do right by their clients. And there are a lot of others that maybe you're paying for management, but you're not really getting the benefit of that. So here's what I want you to see is that the perfect retirement plan for a lot of financial professionals is building up the largest assets under management that they can. They're managing assets and they're earning fees and commissions. Maybe they're earning 1% or 1.5% or a 2% fee every year of the money that they are managing. That number is going to go up or down depending on what firm they work for, what experience they have, maybe how much of their clients' money they have invested. And the more money they have, assets under management, then the better retirement they're going to have, or the more income they're going to have. I've seen some people kind of semi-retire and professionals and keep those accounts. I've seen some of them sell their businesses. So again, the more they have assets under management, then the more money they can sell that business for. And then they use that to go retire on. But there is definitely an over focus on net worth as being the one thing to focus on. So go check out that 7 levers video. I'm also going to be talking about the 7 levers this December 10th. In the retirement revolution. That's not what it's called. Retirement revival event that I'm doing. If you're probably listening to this way past that point. So if you want to know about that program, leave me a comment. And I do want to say that, a lot of times people think that when they get to a point where their income or their passive income or their retirement income, could be including their Social Security, perhaps including, other investments, and they're like, oh, this amount meets my expenses. I can now afford to retire. If you are 62, 65, even 70 or so, I want to give you a big warning about that thinking, because that is not taking into account inflation. That is what the Monte Carlo models take into account. But you want to be thinking about your future. And if your expenses are going up, particularly if you're renting and you don't own your home, you're going to need to be aware. I've seen people who have retired and maybe 10 years later, they're literally forced to move, not just from their apartment, but even from the city that they live in, because it's no longer affordable. So it's one thing I'm up to trying to solve with the 7 levers, with the retirement revival, with doing this kind of education. By the way, I do not sell products, financial products. I don't sell investments. I am here to help you understand what's going on with your finances, with the economy. Do it from a holistic way, because it's not just about the numbers. It has a whole lot to do with mindset. I believe that personal growth equals financial growth, that we cannot separate those two. If you want to know more about what I do, reach out to me, leave me a comment, and I will follow up with you. Have an awesome rest of your day. And remember, you are powerful, you are prosperous, and you are free.